Food obsession is real when you realize you do certain behaviors. People notice that you are such a weirdo and you feel in a embarrassment moment. So here what I'm going to tell you is my personal experience about food and how a restrictive diet could could set you apart on those who don't understand what you are going through. Stay here because I have some interesting points I have to touch for those who have illnesses and are in a strict diet. So I'm going to give you some tips. So I'm gonna prepare myself to have this dialogue with you because it's not a common topic in a media space. So I'm going to share all my opinions about it. What are the advantages and disadvantages, and so on. Um, when you are in such a restrictive diet that doesn't let you to socialize with others, because it's a reality, you are with your friends and suddenly someone says, well guys, what we're going to eat now because hunger starts kicking. So you you are the first person that you are not thinking about what you're going to eat. You are thinking about what foods you cannot eat. But the reality is that most of the food that are served in most of the restaurants are not in your list. That's a shame. It's it's very sad because you kind of focus on the present while going to that specific place. You're just thinking about food. Today was a day, a disastrous day, let's say, because I my friend cut my hair, yeah, for free, literally, as he's my friend, so he do it for me freely. Then he proposed me to go out, and that sudden thought came to my head: what foods cannot eat? We go to the stationery. Yeah, it didn't got my attention because I knew that these places are going to serve food that is not unhealthy. As my specific condition is not to consume certain foods, even the healthy ones. So it was going to be pretty much harder for me to be selective, and he was gonna notice it immediately. So I told him I was going to grab an orange juice because I saw the natural oranges there in the stand. So I told him I'm gonna grab some juice, some natural orange juice. And yeah, he agreed with me. I let him to buy me whatever they was selling yeah, food came in, we sat on the table, and guess what? I found myself in front of a croissant with some sauce in there and some jam. God knows what's going to be in there with some preservatives, bad preservatives, some harmful additives. God knows what was in there. I I did know that jam was bad because of the additives they put on. So I was about to eat it, but then I put my health at my priority, you know? I didn't want to be inflamed after that meal just for such pleasure. I don't even find pleasure with so much ple- pleasing food. Let's say so much tasty food in my mouth, you know, because the croissant itself is buttery and sweeter, so it's a combination. And you added the extra jam with the cheese that's salty, with the jam that contains a lot of additives, plus the mayonnaise. There was a sauce in there. I think that it was a mayonnaise and some tomato that it's acidic and triggers my symptoms. So I didn't know what to do, but then I just told him that I couldn't do gluten. You know, I'm allergic to it, and I have some bad reactions after eating it. He comprehended. He was kind of shocked. I My intention was not to offend him, to cause a bad impression. I think he comprehended me. Uh, and yeah, I just carried out for my family. But again, this this teaches me how impactful is food when it comes to socialize with your friends. When you have a condition, when you have an illness, it's better to tell him. If you obviously, if you trust them, you have this and you have that, and you don't want to repeat my story, you know. So it's better to tell him beforehand. You can do that. I'm gonna to accompany you with some glass of water, or with some, in my case it was just the juice. The juice was acidic. It was a trigger for my symptoms, even though I chose it because as long as I'm well hydrated, even if it's something acidic, and my symptoms are not big, as if I as if was to consume something that is solid and contains tons of condiments, tons of additives. Yeah, that combination is bad. And I do know too that when I consume tons of liquids with food, uh, I have a bad indigestion. It was going to be something that that was going to provoke me two symptoms related to my urinary tract and to my digestive tract. So I think that I chose the right option, and it was not to ingest that food, that croissant, even though it looked pretty damn good. Yeah, it's a pity for us, for those who suffer from a condition that can let us to consume, to let us to live life, uh, enjoying the beautiful, the art that the people put when it comes to preparing these foods, and they are delicious, obviously. And yeah, I do know that that's not healthy, but once in a while, people that are healthy just take it just to socialize, and they, I'm pretty sure they don't experience symptoms like we do, you know. And yeah, that's a pity. And yeah, this happened to me. My tip is that, again, just tell them, if you trust them, of course, uh, what's your condition. Don't tell, if you don't want to enter in too much details, just tell them the basic stuff, and the majority of them are going to understand you, you know. Eh, I've escaped so many situations in which I have to face unhealthy foods, alcohol. Yeah, once I remember that something offered me some beer when he he was he changed the direction to grab something. I thought that he was preparing the pizza. He offered me to have a glass of beer because we stayed that night later, and we were the two left ones that remain in the kitchen. And yeah, take a little bit of beer. I I told him, yeah, why not? In my head, I was just thinking how to get rid of this without he doesn't notice it. So I just got successful in the situation because I just threw the beer route in the, I think I yeah, I throw it in the sink. So I escaped the situation. It was funny because he thought I drank it, the whole beer. I thought that he was um, very very shocked by how fast I took the beer, because it seemed that it just took like 5 seconds to take that beer, and it was amazing. So we had a pretty good moment, because after that we just talked, and yeah, we just prepared to go home, and yeah, I escaped the situation. Mm, another occasion where I escaped the situation is when I went to the disco. Yeah, I'm not going to lie you. I bought a just a glass of liquor, some kind of fruity alcohol, you know, half and a half they put it some kind of liquor, and then they put it some kind of soda, fruity soda. And yeah, I grabbed it, and then I met with a Peruvian guy, and while we were drinking, he he was um, he was enjoying the conversation, you know. And after that, when I finished my glass of fruity alcohol, he decided to continue with the conversation, and he asked for the bartender to bring a a cubit, as some kind of beers in a, you know, in a bowl. I was amazed. So as soon as I heard that, when I think he went to the bathroom, he was with his girlfriend. I just escaped. I got out of the disco, and yeah, it was not me. It was not for me. I I'm not an alcoholic, you know. So guys, this was my experience when it comes to escaping situations that involve eating bad, drinking alcohol, and yeah, all the bad stuff, you know. I would like to know your experiences about that, because escaping a situation is not easy. Definitely. Bye bye.